Hello dear students of class 10th, welcome to the MCQ session of the first chapter of Geography, that is Resource and Development. Students, as you all know that your exams are approaching and in your examination you will be asked MCQs, that means multiple choice questions. So, in this video, in this session, I am going to discuss some of the MCQs from chapter number 1. Okay? So, students, in your examination, you will be provided an OMR in which question numbers will be mentioned and 4 options will be given, for example, A, B, C, D, and you will have to darken the correct option. For example, the correct answer or the correct option for question number 1 is B. Then you will have to encircle, you will have to darken that area with your pen. So, this way you will have to mark your answers in the OMR sheet. I think I am clear to everybody. Now, students, let us discuss some of the MCQs, some of the important multiple choice questions from the first chapter of Geography. So, let us start with the first question as you can see on the screen. So, the first question is, dash are gifts of nature which satisfy human wants, and the options are option A, things, option B, resources, option C, sources, and option D, commodities. So, students, while I was explaining you this chapter, in the first video itself, I explained you about resources. What are resources? Resources are gifts of nature which satisfy our wants, which satisfy our needs. So, the correct option will be option number B, resources. Now, students, what are resources? See, everything that is available in our environment and that is used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable, is termed as a resource. So, this definition must be in your head because question may come in any form. The definition of resource may be provided and you will have to mark the correct option. So, you must know about the correct definition, about the correct meaning of resource. So, I hope question number 1 is clear to everybody. Now, students, let us move to the next question, that is question number 2. So, the second question is, which one of the following is not community owned resource? Okay? And the options are option A, grazing grounds, option B, burial grounds, option C, village ponds, and option D, house of the leader of community. Now, students, here you may get confused with the fourth option, that is house of the leader of community. The fourth option is house of the leader of community, that means it is mentioning about one house of a person living in a community. So, this one, that is option number D, this is not a community owned resource. Community owned resource means the resource that can be used by the whole community. See, the house of the leader of community cannot be used by the public. It is a private house. It is a house of a leader. It is a house of an individual which is not a public resource. So, the correct option will be option number D. See, if I talk about option number A, grazing grounds, then grazing grounds can be used by the animals. If I talk about burial grounds, then burial grounds can also be used by the public for the cremation ceremony and all. If I talk about village pond, then village pond can be used by the public, by the people for taking out water, for using water. But if I talk about the house of a leader, house of the leader of community, then that cannot be used by the general public. So, this is not community owned resource. And let me tell you children that on the basis of ownership, resources are classified into 4 categories. The first is individual resources, the second one is community owned resources, the third one is national resources, and the fourth one is international resources. I hope this question is clear to everybody. Now students, let's proceed with the third question. So the third question is, which among the following is a type of resources classified on the basis of exhaustibility? The options are biotic and abiotic, that is option number A. Option number B, renewable and non-renewable. Option number C, national and individual. And option number D, that is potential and reserves. So students, before I answer this question, let me explain you about all the 4 options. If I talk about option number A, that is biotic and abiotic, then let me tell you that they are classified on the basis of origin. If I talk about option number B, that is renewable and non-renewable resource, then they are classified on the basis of exhaustibility. If I talk about option number C, that is national and international, then as I told you in the previous question, that they are classified on the basis of ownership. And the last option, that is option number D, potential and reserves, they are classified on the basis of status of development. So the correct option will be option number B, that is renewable and non-renewable. So on the basis of exhaustibility, they are classified. I hope this question is clear to everybody. And with the help of this question, you will be able to solve other questions also, because everything is related to each other, everything is connected. So you just have to connect. If I am telling you like a few questions, like 10 to 12 questions, that does not mean that you will be answering only 10 to 12 questions. That means with the help of those 10 to 12 questions, you will be able to answer more number of questions, because everything is related to each other. Okay. Now let's move to the next question, that is question number 4. That is question number 4th. So the 4th question is, India's territorial water extends up to a distance of. The options are option number A, 12 kilometer, option number B, 12 nautical miles, option number C, 19.2 miles, and option number D, 200 nautical miles. Students, let me tell you that if I talk about water, then we do not measure water on the basis of kilometer up to how much it extends. See, if I talk about the land area, the land mass, then we can easily calculate in terms of kilometer. But when it comes to water, when it comes to territorial water, then that is measured in terms of nautical miles. Okay, that is calculated, or that is measured in terms of nautical miles. So let me tell you that the correct option will be option number B, that is 12 nautical miles, which is equal to about 22 kilometer. So India's territorial water extends up to a distance of 12 nautical miles, that means up to approximately 22 kilometers. Okay. Now students, let's come to the next question, that is question number 5th. So question number 5th is, which of the following statements refers to the sustainable development? The options are option A, overall development of various resources, option B, development should take place without damaging the environment, option C, economic development of people, and option D, development without damaging the environment and considering the requirement of the future generation. Students, let me tell you that whenever you are reading the options, do not get over excited with only one option. You need to read you need to read all the 4 options, and then only you will be able to pick out the correct option. Okay. So suppose you read Suppose you read the first option and you thought that okay, this is matching with my answer, and out of excitement you will just encircled, or you just you have just, and out of excitement do not just darken that option. You need to read all the options, because this is MCQs are not that easy, that much easy that you are as you are considering. Okay, so you need to read all the answers. So you need to read all the options very thoroughly. So if I talk about sustainable development, then let me tell you that sustainable development refers to the development without damaging the environment and at the same time considering the requirements of the future generation. That means not compromising with the present needs and also taking into consideration the requirements of the future generation. That is called as sustainable development. So the correct option will be option number D. This is called as sustainable development. Now the next question, that is question number 6th. So question number 6th is, which of the following was not an aim under agenda 21? Students, whenever a question, whenever the students, whenever the word not is there in the question, please be extra alert, okay, because you may get confused that time. So please read the questions thoroughly, and if not is there, then please read it twice, I would suggest. So which of the following was not an aim under agenda 21? The options are: option number A, combat environmental damage; option B, reduce poverty; option C, control on diseases; and option D, to fight terrorism. So let me tell you students that the aim of agenda 21 was to combat So students, let me tell you that the aim of agenda 21 was to combat environmental damage, to reduce poverty, and the third one, to control diseases. So these three were the aims of agenda 21. Now as you have the fourth option, that is option number D, to fight terrorism. So this was not the aim of agenda 21. So the correct option will be option number D, that is to fight against terrorism or to fight terrorism. So this way you can understand that what was the aim of agenda 21. So with the help of one question, you will be able to understand a broader aspect. Now you will be able to answer about agenda 21 if a question comes on agenda 21. Now students, let us come to the next question, that is question number 7th. So question number 7th is, which of the following is the root cause for resource depletion at global level according to Gandhiji? And the options are: option A, conservation of resources; option B, use of technology; option C, backward technology; and option D, greedy and selfish individuals and exploitative nature of modern technology. Students, while I was explaining you this chapter about this topic, I explained you about this, that according to Gandhiji, the root cause of depletion of resources is the greedy and selfish nature of human beings, the greedy and selfish nature of individuals, and also the exploitative nature of modern technology. We are not using technology in a positive manner, rather we are ruining the environment, we are causing destruction, we are causing damage to the environment. So the root cause for resource depletion is actually the greed and the selfish nature of individuals, of human beings, and they are also not using the technology in proper direction, in correct direction, which often, or which is leading to resource depletion. So the correct option will be option number D. Okay. Question may come in a different manner. For example, greedy and selfish individual and exploitative nature of modern technology are the root causes for resource depletion. This is said by whom? And 4 options may be given. So you need to understand the question. You don't have to just mug up the options. You need to understand the topics well, so that you can be able to solve the questions properly. Now students, let's come to the next question, that is question number 8th. So question number 8th is, what percent of land is plain in India? The options are option number A 41%, option number B 45%, option number C 43% and option number D 47%. So students, let me tell you that the total land is classified into 3 categories. First is mountains, second is plateaus and the third one is plains. If I talk about mountains, then 30% of the total land comprises of mountains. If I talk about plateaus, then 27% of land constitutes of plateaus, and if I talk about plains, then 43% of land comprises of plains. So the correct option will be option number C, that is 43%. Now you will be able to solve the rest 2 questions also if the question comes on plateaus or mountains. Okay. So moving on, let's move to the next question. So the next question is question number 9th. So the 9th question is, what percentage of our land should be under forest according to the National Forest Policy 1952? And the options are 33%, option number A, option number B 22.5%, option number C 22% and option number D 30%. Students, let me tell you that these are factual questions which you need to remember. You need to remember the data. So let me tell you that 22.5% of our land should be under forest according to the National Forest Policy 1952. So the correct option will be option number B, that is 22.5%. Okay. Now the next question, that is question number 10th. So the 10th question is, what is arrangement of soil in different layers or horizons known as? The options are option number A, soil composition, option number B, soil erosion, option number C, soil profile and option number D, soil texture. Now students, if I talk about soil, see there are different layers or horizons of soil. First we have the topsoil, then we have subsoil weathered rock, the third one we have weathered parent rock, and the fourth one or the fourth layer is called as unweathered parent bedrock. So this horizon or the layers, they are called as soil profile. Do not get confused between soil composition and soil profile. They are different things, and soil erosion is completely different. That means polluting the soil, that is called as soil erosion, removing the topmost layer of the soil, the fertile layer, that is called as soil erosion. And if I talk about soil texture, then it means what is the texture of soil. So here layers and horizons, the arrangement of soil in different layers is called as soil profile. So the correct option will be option number C, that is soil profile. Now let's come to question number 11th. So question number 11th is, red soil is reddish in color due to, and the options are option A, high clay content, option B, presence of conker nodules in the subsoil, option C, diffusion of iron in igneous and metamorphic rocks, and option number D, high moisture content. Students, let me tell you that red soil is reddish in color because of diffusion of iron in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Because of diffusion of iron, the color of that soil looks red, or it looks reddish in color. So, that is why it is called as red soil. Students, let me also tell you that red soil is also called as yellow soil. Now, why is red soil called as yellow soil? See, because of high moisture content. So, because of that high moisture content, it looks yellow, because of which it is also called as yellow soil. So, this you need to remember. That question may come like which soil is also called as yellow soil, and different options may be provided. So, you need to understand each and every concept. Okay. So, the correct option is option number C. Now, students, let us come to the last question, that is question number 12th. So, question number 12th is, soil can be conserved by, the options are option number A, cutting of trees, option number B, overgrazing, option number C, planting more trees, and option number D, excessive mining. See, if I talk about cutting of trees, then soil can never be conserved by cutting down trees. Because if trees will be chopped, if trees will be cut, then see, actually trees, what do? They hold the soil, and if trees will not be there, then soil will not be holded. So, first option will be eliminated. Now, the second option, overgrazing. When it comes to overgrazing, then what is the result of overgrazing? When the animals, when they overgraze, then they also eat, or they also destroy the top layer, that means the fertile layer of soil, which results in soil erosion. So, this will also not be there. Now, if I talk about planting more trees, then definitely this is the right option, because if more and more trees will be planted, then the trees, they hold the soil, because of which soil erosion is not there. So, the correct option will be option number C. And let me see the fourth option also, that is excessive mining. Then in case of excessive mining, what is done? The land or the soil, that is the land is dug out, and if the land or if the soil is dug out, it results in what? It results in removing the topmost layer or the fertile layer of soil, which results in soil erosion. So, definitely option D is not the right answer. So, the right answer is option number C, that is planting more trees. So, students, I